All right, thank you guys for joining us here at Margaritaville Resort Casino for the pregame press conference for the 2025 Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Starting us off will be the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. We have interim head coach Jeremiah Johnson, offensive lineman Zac Elam, and safety Dre Pinckney. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, raise your hand. We'll have someone run a mic to you. Coach, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, welcome. Obviously, we're fired up to be in Shreveport, excited to be in the Independence Bowl, and hopefully we can put on a really good show tomorrow night.
Roy Lang from The Advocate here in Shreveport. This is for the players. Talking to Jeremiah when you guys first got in, I said, you know, like a lot of other programs in college football, losing a coach, a couple guys leaving, you know, you had every reason not to play in this game, opt out like a lot of other schools. But he said, man, it'd be a disservice to the players. It's not fair to them. So for the players, how happy are you that Coastal wasn't a school that opted out of a bowl, even though you've had as much reason as anybody else?
I'll say we were very excited. As of late, we had a tradition of just being able to consistently go to bowl games, experience it, and I know we had a lot of transfers on the team this year that never got to experience it as well. So just being a part of it is great. It's a blessing, and a lot of guys look forward to it. You know, this is what we work for. This is what we want to do. So if we had the opportunity to play, we were going to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're thankful to be here, and it's been a great experience so far. And yeah, playing a bowl game, you know, it's what you work for an experience like this and be able to come to a location for a week with your team and bond. And, you know, we've earned that right, and we're thankful for Coastal Carolina and Coach JJ and the Radiance Technology Bowl, Independence Bowl for having us. You know, it's been awesome so far, so we're thankful for that.
Matt Belson, Rustin Day, the leader. Coach, I'm curious, a year ago, obviously this offense for Louisiana Tech looked a whole lot different. Obviously now it's quarterback run game, just very power. I guess I'm curious, evaluating their offense, how much night and day is it compared to what you saw obviously up close last year as you're preparing for them, I guess? Yeah, it's a little bit different, because last year when we were going against them every day in practice, Tony wasn't there. So we were going against Coach Cumbie's offense. When Tony got there last year, we were preparing for Army, which is completely different than anything that Tony's doing. We never really prepared for win against anything that Coach Franklin's doing. So that's all completely new for us as a staff. So it doesn't really look like anything that we looked at last year or even prepared against last year. But they do a heck of a job. We are going to have to defend all 11. In a lot of ways, it's similar to Army because it is triple option. And they've morphed really from what they were doing early in the year to what they've done lately. Our plan is definitely going to be to try to stop what they've done lately, But as it goes to last year, there's really no relevance to any of that, I don't think.
Bruce Howard with Bowl Season Radio. Coach, with the fluid nature of college football right now, and then on top of it, coaching changes at Coastal Carolina, how have these kids kind of gelled? What can you say about the ones that stayed and are opting to play in this game and what that's been like the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, the kids have been phenomenal. We've really only had 4 out of 105 that chose not to play. So that's been really, really good. And one of them actually chose not to play way back in October. So only 3 since they made the change have decided that they didn't want to play in the bowl game. And we've had a tight group really the whole season. But they did rally around, what we were trying to do. We kind of changed a little bit of the mindset, so to speak, here in the last month, and these guys have done a phenomenal job, of buying into that kind of, I guess you'd say, new culture, if that's really the right verbiage. But they were a tight team before, and at the end of the day, they want to compete.
They want to get better, and they want to go win a football game. And that's really been the mission ever since, I got the opportunity to go to the front of the room here for the last month.
And I would ask Zach and Dre to address that a little bit. How has this prep been, and how have you felt you've kind of gelled as a team?
Yeah, I mean, we were fired up when to hear Coach JJ was going to be our interim coach, given the situation. So it was never a question of whether we were going to rally around the team. And as Coach said, we love playing together. And it's been like that since January 6th with this team coming in. We love being around each other. And, this is another opportunity to do what we love and what we've worked to do, and that's, play football and put on the uniform and play for Coastal Carolina University. And that's what we look forward to doing tomorrow.
Yeah, similar to what Zach said, we're a very tight-knit group. We love each other. Our brotherhood is strong. And like you said, once we found out Coach JJ was going to take over the helm, we rallied behind him. Everybody was excited. Everybody knew what we wanted to do. And we just looked forward to the opportunity. So once it was there, we just ready to go.
Hey, Coach, Chris DeMersion, KSLA out of Shreveport, back over here. Hey, whenever you were named interim head coach at Coastal Carolina, did you reach out to Sonny? Did he give you any sort of advice on being the interim guy at Coastal?
We talked briefly. Coach Cumbie and I, you guys probably don't know this, but Coach Cumbie is one of the best humans that's in this business. And I appreciate Sonny Cumbie more probably than anybody else that's sitting in this room. But Coach Cumbie, Coach Kleiman, I reached out to, who was at Kansas State as the head coach. He's one of my biggest mentors. But those two guys, just in terms of how to handle being an interim, Coach Cumbie was an interim. Coach Kleiman, I leaned on him a fair amount to try to figure out how to do the schedule, especially initially when we didn't know when we were playing in the bowl. But yeah, I certainly talked to Coach Cumbie about that.
This is Andrew Wellman, KSLA News 12 back here. This is towards everyone. Just what would it mean to you guys to get a win here in Shreveport? You guys kind of had a rough end of the season. You played some really good teams, ended on that 3-game losing streak. Just to be able to end your season in a positive note and get a win here.
Well, I think it's critical. What we've talked about ever since we knew we were playing in a bowl, the phrase that we've used is we're not coming to play, we're coming to win. And I think that the kids have, it doesn't matter who you play, it doesn't matter where you play. Anytime you get an opportunity to compete, if the goal is not to win the competition, then there's no sense in participating, to me. So, that's really what we've talked about is we want to go win. Even before we knew it was Louisiana Tech, the goal for us when we knew we were playing in a bowl game was to go win. Doesn't matter that we lost the last 3 games. We could have been on a 10-game winning streak. The goal would still be to go win. But do we want to change the fact that we've lost 3 in a row and end on a high note? Absolutely. Also, this might be the only opportunity I ever have to be a head coach. I'd like to be 1-0 when it's over.
Sir?
I'm curious, when you look at their defense, I know obviously they bring a lot of pressure from different areas. Their defensive backs are kind of coming up in the box quite a bit. I guess as an offensive lineman, how tough is it not knowing maybe where pressure is going to come from, particular plays, I guess?
We've had similar looks because our defense kind of runs a similar structure to theirs. But yeah, we just have to fall on our base rules as an O-line. If we got a gap, we got to block. If we got a zone we got to get to, then there's got to be a body in there somewhere because defense got a job. It's a gap assigned defense. Someone's got to be in the A gap, someone's got to be in the B gap, and we got to make sure our guys are in there blocking it and getting it out of there. So we're excited for the matchup, and we look forward to getting out there and competing tomorrow.
Guys, talk about some of the fun stuff you've done here. The competitions, the bowling, the golf at Chasing Aces. Heck, we saw guys getting tased. What are some of the special moments that stand out before you play this game?
I could say for us, the most fun we had, personally for me, I'd say was the bowling. We're very competitive, very, very competitive. So if there's any opportunity to compete in anything, we're going to take it. So the bowling matchups got very competitive. Guys coming from different lanes. They're hearing who's hot in which lane coming down, trying to see what they could do. So I say for me, that was probably the most fun in terms of the entire week I had.
Mine was probably seeing a couple of my teammates get tased. Like you can't beat that. It's pretty funny. The bomber was really cool. Like going in there, they had like this old, like 60-year-old old bomber plane they had, and seeing that was really cool. So I really enjoyed that, and just bonding and gelling with the guys this one last week. Thank you.
Thank you.